What's up, everybody? I'm David.
And I'm Manny, and on this episode we take a deeper look at the New Caledonian Masters of Camouflage,
The Mossy Prehensile-tailed gecko, or Chahoua. The New Caledonian Mossy Prehensile-tailed gecko is quickly becoming one of the favorites amongst, New Caledonian gecko keepers. And I mean, rightfully so. The colors are just absolutely gorgeous. And unlike some of the other geckos like the cresteds or the gargoyles, wild Chahoua is going to be pretty much just as beautiful as the ones we're producing here in captivity. The combinations of the greens, the reds, and the browns are just, spectacular. Now, these animals, there's two main localities with these geckos that you could basically find here for sale in the United States. That's going to be the mainland and the Isle of Pines. Obviously, these geckos are from New Caledonia, the island east of Australia, where, the cresteds and the gargoyle geckos come from, giant geckos, all that. Now, the mainland, you're gonna find the Chahoua that you're gonna find there. They're a little bit smaller in size. They generally range about 45 to 55 grams. And the Isle of Pines, which is a satellite island off to the side, there's bigger Chahoua there. They usually range about 60 to even in the 80s sometimes, in 80 grams. And the difference are very, they're very easy to see once you have them side by side. Isle of Pine Chahuas generally have a longer snout and smaller eyes, and the mainland Chahuas have a little bit bigger, more bulges eyes and a shorter snout. There are also some, in the color you could see some differences, but that also takes a little bit of practice to get, get used to that. Now, a really cool thing about them is that we're saying that the crested geckos live 15 to 20 years. Well, we know for sure that these guys live at least 20 years, and they can live up to 30 years. So they're an incredibly long-lived gecko species, which, it's a big responsibility, but they're very cool, and it's a pet that if you do get as a pet, it's gonna be, with you for a long part of your life. And if you get it as a reptile to breed, it's going to be productive for a long time.
So as David stated, the Chewies and the crested geckos come from the same island of New Caledonia, giving them the very similar care. Now, one of the only differences is that the Chahuas get much bigger than the crested geckos. Crested geckos average around 45 grams, while Isle of Pine Chahuas can get up to 60, 70, even 80 grams. So you're gonna have to offer up a bigger enclosure. Now with the crest geckos, we say 10-gallon tanks, but for these guys, you're gonna need a minimum of a 20-gallon tank or an 18 by 18 by 18. You can use the same substrate of paper towels or sphagnum moss. You're gonna want to have a lot of fake plants in there, or even mix it in with real plants like pothos, bromeliads, ficus to keep the humidity up. And also they love cork bark. These guys love their cork bark, and it's really cool because they blend into it very well.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that make these guys really cool is you can offer them a UVB light, and they'll actually come out and bask during the day, throughout the day. Which is different from the crest geckos. The crest geckos most of the time are going to be hiding. You're going to have to dig around and look for it.
Yeah.
But with these guys, you'll actually see them out and basking with the light. Now, these guys are going to need a little bit higher humidity than the cresteds or the gargoyles. You're going to need a little bit heavier misting at night, but once a night should be fine enough. You could also offer a water bowl. Water bowls are very helpful. They'll help keep the humidity up, but the only thing is you're going to have to clean it often because they do build up with bacteria very fast. These guys are also more vigorous hunters. That's one thing I love about these guys. You actually can see them hunt, and they're very precise hunters, as David can tell you. Very precise, and they love eating their bugs. Gut loaded crickets, roaches, worms. What else?
Yeah, I mean, that's right. He's saying they're big on bugs, so I would definitely increase the the bug intake for them more than, let's say, a crested. I would do 2 or 3 times a week for insects, crickets, or you know, roaches, worms. And obviously you want to keep feeding the pre-made diets, which are the Pangea or the Rapashi diets. Those are the main big ones. That's gonna be the staple. You want to have that in the tank basically at all times, and then just throw in there a couple insects 2 or 3 times a week. That's what we do. That's what we recommend. Like he was saying, Chahoua are incredible hunters, where a crested kind of just like is an opportunistic hunter where it'll just wait for something to pass by and jump with its mouth open, hope it catches it. Chahuas will actually, you know, hunt down a, you know, stalk a little cricket, hunt it down, and then like a sniper just take it out. So it's very, very cool animal to have, and you know, for sure one of the best species in this New Caledonian gecko list. Alright, so this is an example of how we keep, you know, our cages, our Chahuas here. This is like a 56 quart bin. Basically has some cork bark, some branches there, fake plants. That's the food bowl right over there, down there.
And they have some green thing in here too that comes with it.
Yeah, and that's actually the Chahoua there. If you guys can see that. It's gonna bite Manny's face off.
It's my dog.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we keep it. What we use for substrate is paper. We could use paper. You could use paper towels. That's what's easiest to clean, pretty much. But it's making the getaway. But you could also use like peat moss, sphagnum moss, you know, all that good stuff. If you're gonna have Chahuas, a lot of people like to
have it layered.
Yeah, there's a lot of cork bark on the bottom as well where they could crawl into and hide. But like I was saying, a lot of people that keep Chahuas like to keep it really like a nice vivarium type enclosure. So you could definitely get creative, and I think these are like the perfect animals to have you know, like a live vivarium. Mossy prehensile tail geckos, the temperatures you want to keep them at is, what I find is the best is, you know, like the high 70s. That's a good temperature where the animal is going to be comfortable, but it's also going to, you know, maximize the growth of the gecko. When the geckos are warmer, they tend to eat a little bit more, and obviously they grow faster. Temperature, humidity, like Manny said, you want to mist one good misting down at night, and the water bowl should help keep the humidity up. So the humidity usually is going to stay around 70 to 90%. Okay, so Chahoua are some of the hardest geckos to breed. That being because, first of all, you can't just throw a male and a female together. You have to, you know, be very, very careful if you do decide to breed. This video by no means is, you know, I would definitely recommend you looking up, doing some side research if you are trying to breed Chahoua, but this could be a couple pointers. If you throw a male and a female together, you can have problems. They're very territorial, so usually there could be a dominant one which can really hurt and sometimes even kill, you know, the opposite gecko. So you want to make sure if you put them together, put them in a cage that is, you know, brand new, that it doesn't have any scent of the male or the female, and you want to watch them. You want to watch them because these guys, like I said, overnight they could kill each other. They could get along fine, or they could, you know, really put some damage on each other. They do have the lowest hatch rate of all the New Caledonian geckos that I'm aware of. That being said, even they have the lowest hatch rate, and they don't produce as many eggs as crested geckos or gargoyle geckos. So you gotta be, you know, this is not a species to get into if you're a beginner, I would say, especially if you're trying to breed. When they are born, though, when they hatch, they are very vigorous, and they tend to have a really high survival rate. So that's not something that you would worry about once you already have a baby. You just pretty much the same requirements, same husbandry, same care, but just in a smaller size. So if you are attempting to breed Chahuas, I would definitely, only put a pair together. I wouldn't put like a male and 3 or 4 females. The males develop a bulge under their base of the tail. The females don't. Usually that could be seen around 20 grams, 30 grams. You'll start to see that bulge clearly. And yeah, you don't want to put males together, obviously, like some of the other gecko species. You want to keep 1 male and 1 female. And even like that, they might still fight. But it's if you put a male and a male together, they're for sure gonna try to take each other's head off, like me and this guy. But yeah, I mean, some other things about breeding is they tend to the females tend to go inside the hollows, and they won't even bury their eggs sometimes. So you gotta be very careful. If you leave the eggs out too long, they'll dry out, and they're not soft like crested or gargle eggs. They have a little bit harder shell, and they do guard their eggs. So just be ready to get bit by these guys if you're gonna try to breed them. So this is one of my future breeding pairs. These are white shoulder Isle of Pines Chahuas. The white shoulders are some of the hardest to find and the most expensive, and obviously some of the most attractive. But the guy up over to the right, which has some red, is a male, and the one to the left is a female, which is more green. So these two should be, getting freaky in about 2 years, hopefully. They don't kill each other. One of the coolest thing about these geckos is that their tail, unlike the crested geckos, is fully prehensile, which just means that they can roll it up just like that, like a delicious cinnamon bun, and they use it pretty much like an extra limb whenever they want. Pretty cool. They're also very reluctant to drop their tails. But if they do drop it, they won't be growing their tails back, sadly. But it's very rare that a Chahoua will drop its tail. And as you can see, they will never stay still. That pretty much wraps up this video on Mossy prehensile tail geckos or Chahuas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And Manny's gonna tell you about the social media stuff.
I'm gonna tell you to make sure you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder. We have it all.
No, actually, this was a video that I made because everybody on Snapchat kept telling me that they wanted to see this video, Chahuas. So you know what? I'm here to please you guys. I'm here to make the videos for you guys. So you guys got it. This video was a direct response from Snapchat. So if you like to follow us on the daily or weekly, make sure you add us on the social media, and you can see some of the behind the scenes or some tips and advice that I give here and there. And
sometimes we have special sales too on certain social medias like Instagram, Facebook, or even Snapchat.
Yeah, so you guys know we have the best geckos. So start acting like it. Follow us on social media and get yourself a TikisGeckos.
Do yourself that favor.
Exactly.
That's for you guys. It's not for us. That's for you guys.
Alright, I appreciate all the support. Again, thanks for watching, and until next month, last Saturday of every month, remember, new episode of TikisGeckos.
TikisGeckos out.
Chahuas. TikisGeckos. Alright, that's the intro. Kidding.
Same thing we always do, because we're basic. Hashtag. Hello, my name is Juan. I walked through lizards for $9.99. No refund. Oh man. Oh, a good lizard's a wet lizard.
Donald Trump's gonna kick you out of this country.
$14.99. No tax, no tax, no taxes.
I was like, saw you trying to get me.
No.
Okay, alright.
Chahoua are quickly becoming one of the favorites among New Caledonian gecko enthusiasts, and for a very good reason, you know. They are some of the more personable geckos in this genus or species. Not in this genus or species. They're not in the genus and they're not in the species. Let's start this over.
And if you guys don't know, this is AKA Mr. 305.
Oh yeah,
AKA
that's
Mr.
Pitbull.
Worldwide.
Pitbull right there. I actually named him Pitbull because he has huge jaws, not because Manny loves the singer Pitbull.